Do you think that this sort of class war and the constant tropes of posh Tories is justifiable? Or do you think the focus on Tory privilege and character assassinations by the left is actually having a detrimental effect on Labour?
I think what the electorate like is authenticity. They like to believe that people are saying what they themselves believe, not what their political party or the opinion polls suggest would be to their advantage. So, yes, I think that concentrating on somebody's class, I rather agreed with your introduction, that people care what politicians do rather than if they had a pretty expensive education at Eton or whether they came up the hard way. They want to believe that politicians believe what they're saying. Labour made a classic mistake after Gwyneth Dunwoody's death just over 10 years ago. We fought the by-election against a popular local Tory whose family had done a lot of good things, Edward Timpson. And we sent people dressed up as toffs behind the Conservative candidate, and it rebounded massively. And I think there was a lesson there for the Labour Party.
Well, also joining us now is Ben Harris-Quinney, who's chairman of the Conservative think tank, the Bow Group. So let's have a sort of three-way chat about this. Ben, do you think that the Tories have a problem with class? I mean, that comment about Angela Rayner really does smack of elitism.
I think it smacks of a lot of things, and it would be very interesting to know where it came from. I mean, look, I think there is a problem that 2 out of the last 3 prime ministers not only went to Eton and Oxford, but were also members of the same 12-man dining club. It's rather odd to have a situation like that in a modern democracy of 65 million people. But I do think, when it comes to a figure like Boris Johnson, he absolutely cuts across the class divides. And I think it's quite right what Mr. Stringer was saying, that if you are a character, if you do have authenticity, and if you connect with people, it really doesn't matter which way you came up. You can look at, maybe some other figures in the Conservative Party that perhaps that's not true of, and they don't connect with people from all walks of life. But I think I'm no particular fan of Boris Johnson, but it has to be acknowledged that he does cut across. And I think the fact that he went to Eton and was a buller man, as he would say, is not an impediment to him.